Willoughby operated a ferry which transported people and goods across a river in England. These ferries are less and less common now, but once upon a time it was more common to have a ferry than to have a bridge. Fouldes arrived with his 2 horses to cross the river, and he apparently misbehaved. We are not told in the case precisely what he allegedly did by way of misbehaviour, but it was bad enough that Willoughby didn't want him on board the ferry anymore. Fouldes refused to leave, and so Willoughby had Fouldes' horses taken off the ferry and turned loose. The idea was that Fouldes would then leave the ferry and go after them. He did not. He stayed on the ferry and crossed the river. The horses were obviously captured, and they ended up in the stables of Willoughby's brother, who sent a message to Fouldes that he could have them back whenever he liked, provided he paid for their feed and stabling. He refused, and so the horses were sold to cover costs. He brought an action against the ferryman for conversion, arguing that by removing the horses and turning them loose, Willoughby had converted the horses. The Court of the Exchequer disagreed. They said that removing the horses was clearly a trespass, it was clearly unwanted and intentional interference with Fouldes' property, but it was not a conversion. The reason for this is that merely moving an item does not really interfere with the possessory rights of the true owner. In fact, if you think about it, they were relying on those rights. They wanted Fouldes to get off the ferry and look after the horses. All 3 judges agreed, and Lord Abinger wrote the leading judgment, but the words of Baron Alderson are the ones that have become famous. He said, "If a man has possession of my chattel and refuses to deliver it up, this is an assertion of a right inconsistent with my general dominion over it, and the use which at all times I am entitled to make of it, and consequently amounts to a conversion." From this case we learn that the essence of conversion is the denial of the rights of the person entitled to possession. The impugned conduct must interfere with that right of possession, or else you may have trespass to goods, but you won't have conversion.